Hi, I am Carla Hutzing of Keller Williams Rivertown, operating principal, and I get the pleasure today to talk with Tammy Jo. Tammy Jo Holmes. Is TJ Holmes, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Tammy Jo, we're privileged that you're a part of Keller Williams Rivertown now.
Thank you.
And I want to talk to you a little bit about your business.
Okay.
So tell me a little bit about yourself and how long have you been in the business, and tell me what you've done so far.
Okay. I have been in the business for 18 years already. I started when I was 22 years old, so I can't believe how fast it's gone by.
Very fast, and you're like 27, right?
Oh yeah, I hit 40.
Oh, you hit 40.
I did. And so I have been basically a solo agent for most of my career. And as I felt a pain in my business, when things started getting a lot busier for me the last probably 8 to 10 years, that's when I felt that I needed to get some more help. So I've had some help here and there throughout that time period. And it wasn't until I got a coach in September of last year that said, well, God tells me that you probably really won't want to hear. I said, well, then just don't tell me. And he goes, you need a full-time helper. I went, a full-time helper? And so I hired a full-time person in October, and that's what I really officially start, I think, as a team mentality once I had that first full-time person.
So that's where you were thinking, okay, I'm going to make a transition in my business, and I want to take it up a notch and take it to another level.
Yes.
It's been about 90 days since you've been to Keller Williams.
Holy smokes.
I know, right? So we met about 90 days, more than that, 120 days ago.
Yes.
And I do remember when I met with you that you said to me, you looked straight at me and you said, I am not changing brokers because I love my broker.
Yes, I do.
Remember that?
Yep. Consider them friends.
Consider them dear friends. And I said to you, guess what? I love your broker too.
You did.
I did, because I do. I love your broker. And so this conversation today is not about your broker.
No.
We're not going to do that.
Nope.
What we're going to talk about is your journey, and I would love for you to share your story.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Of course.
All right,
I'm an open
sounds
book.
good. So somewhere between then
Yes.
and now, you're at Keller Williams Rivertown.
Yeah,
And
something
I want to talk
changed.
about that. You did make a change, okay?
I did.
Very unexpectedly, and it even surprised us because you were pretty strong that you were not going to make a change.
Yes, I told you
And
point blank I was not going to make a change.
I know, I remember, right?
Yes.
So what happened between 90 days ago and let's say, might it have been maybe mid-February? So what happened?
You sent me to family reunion.
All right, so talk to me about that.
I told you no.
Yep.
I told you no to family reunion.
Yep.
I told you no that I wasn't changing brokerages.
Right.
And you and Melissa, who had been recruiting me at the time, and she'd been recruiting me for a long time, said, we understand that you don't want to move. We respect you for that, and we will back away, but we really feel that for you as a business, for you as a person, that you really need to go to this. It'd be good for you, just for growth. And I said to you both, I appreciate that and your support of me, knowing that you really wanted me to come over.
Right.
And that I don't want to leave my kids. I've got a 5 and a 3-year-old at home. They've never been gone without their mom. And I don't want to not work for 4 days because I'm the breadwinner.
Right.
And I said, I just can't do that. And then you said, we don't care, in a nice and loving way.
Of course, it's only we can do.
Right? And that we want you to go, and
Yeah.
we'll pay for you to go.
Right.
And so I went, crap,
Now what am I going to do?
I had to go.
No is hard.
So it is. And so I went down there, and I have been with Keller Williams one time before, 17 years before.
Okay.
It was my second year in the business when I was recruited, and I loved it there. But I had been pulled out by a smaller brokerage. So I've always liked the smaller brokerages, and so when they say don't drink the Kool-Aid, don't drink this, I knew what they meant. I've been to a family reunion before. I knew what to expect, and so I wasn't going there going, oh, I'm going to get wowed.
Right.
And of course, you're always impressed by what they put together, but I wasn't wowed by that.
Right.
Because I was expecting that.
Sure. You've tasted of that before.
I did.
So what was different this time at family reunion? Like, tell me about that.
I had a one-on-one with Gary Keller,
Wow.
which was, I didn't think a big deal, but then everybody told me it was a big deal.
It is a big deal.
I didn't know,
Yeah.
so now I know.
Yeah.
And for me, that was kind of an eye-opener. And I saw a lot what was going on. I took in a lot, and I went, this is interesting. And my initial purpose of going down was just for me to gather information for me to grow. And for me to take back to my other brokerage about what I've learned. Something we can implement.
Right.
And when I had this one-on-one with Gary Keller, and don't think it's like a one-on-one. It was like 200 of us and with Gary Keller.
That's still kind of one-on-one. You know, 250 out of 170,000 agents. perspective.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
for me, I get it.
Absolutely. I know
so
what you're saying.
I don't look at myself
Yeah,
like
so you
that.
didn't interview him.
No, I did not. So, but it was a very interesting perspective, and I saw that I've been watching now about how businesses have been changing, how the industry has been changing, and that it feels like things are just exploding
Yes.
with what's happening with tech. And Gary Keller got a little, I want to say legal path, it was one of those projector machines.
Yeah.
And he said, this is what's going to happen. And I was expecting it to be 3 to 5 years out. And he's like, in the next 12 months, this is what's happening. And I went, he gets it. He actually gets it. And so in this room of people, there were some like Ruha, Gary all the way. There were some that were more reserved. There were some that were just listening like me. Mm-hmm. I didn't come in with a preconceived notion. I didn't come in trying to assess the situation and say, this is what's going to happen. I just wanted to listen. And I was surprised by what I heard.
That's awesome. And how did you see that conversation filtering into your business? Like, what difference does it now make for your future business?
Things that I feel like our businesses are clunky. And when I started in business 18 years ago, it was where you had to open up the phone book and start making phone calls, which I never liked. It was where they wanted to have you have a CRM, and that the only option was putting it on note cards or doing something like a top producer. I'm like, well, I just got out of college, I'm 22 years old, I know not to do a note card. So I went with this option over here, and it was newspaper. That was the only way to get word out. There wasn't the internet like there is now. And so the industry that I've seen, that I started with, that I've grown up in, literally grown up in, has been overwhelming. And I see that as things change and as things kind of grow and cultivate, that I've had to add things onto my business to kind of add to accommodate that change. So bolt it on, scotch tape it on, duct tape it on, and I've got this business that's fantastic, but it's clunky. And there's no easy system or easy way to pull all these things together.
And it costs you a lot of money.
And it costs me, for
Right.
every clunky thing I add on, it costs more money. Mm-hmm. That I now have to train more people now to handle what I was handling before. And so what Gary's system Command is now doing is now it's a CRM that also has AI technology and capability. That they can start filtering in and doing auto updates and taking away some of that stress from me and my business so I can do my job and not just handle a back end or create a back end for a business that should be running as a business.
Right. And the app that we talked about, right? So the app is going to connect the customer
Yes.
to you
Yes.
for life, right? Now it's like becomes your own Amazon account, your own Netflix account.
Well, and that's just it, is I didn't even get to that point of it. Like
Yeah.
I was just gathering what information was coming, and I knew some features were coming that were going to be market centered, because I always wanted to have the time to create a separate search for my past customers that were 3 years into having bought their home, or 5 years, and create what I call my market watch, that they can watch the neighborhood homes that are being sold. And this is part of this process. And I went, all these steps and all these levels that I wanted to provide better customer service for my clients is wrapped up in one simple to easy use plan,
one system.
one system.
So at what point did you feel that, okay, I have to make this change?
When I was in the room with Gary Keller and I was listening to him doing the breakdown of the timing of where things are happening and what's happening in our industry, I thought we had another 3 to 5 years before what was going to happen with all this tech hit us. And he said 12 months. We're 12 months from this thing exploding. And this explosion is driven by the consumer, not driven by us.
Right.
If it had our way, we wouldn't have Zillow, we wouldn't have all these other things.
Right.
And so I remember sitting in my seat there going, okay, this isn't what I had planned on. But sometimes you have to make pivots that aren't comfortable so that you can grow with what needs to happen. And so the decision wasn't made yet, but the decision was in the making
Sure.
to understand that more time had to be spent to research this
Yeah. That's
for what
really
the next
awesome.
step was going to be.
Yeah, because you saw the value of the technology,
I did.
what it was going to do, and you thought, if I'm going to grow with it, I might as well grow in its infancy
You got it.
rather than be ahead another 3 to 5 years and go, now I got to figure all this out because I'm behind.
Well,
Right?
and that being behind is the key word, because
It
I
is.
look at, if I'm just now developing my team, and then I move into Keller Williams 3 years from now or 2 years from now, and all these other teams already have this established, they're already using it, they're taking over market share.
That's right.
And so looking at that kind of weight and balance, going, a change is never easy.
Never.
Never. And so why delay pain? Because you can always push it off. It's not the
can.
right time. I'm
And you
too
did
busy.
it in spring. Like you did it in,
I'm
you
a
know, just
crazy woman.
I know, but look where you are now.
Yes.
Right? You're getting your systems in place. You've got
Yes.
your admin in place now. You've got your team in
Yes.
place. And you're saying, okay, this is where I need to go with it. And
Right.
you're on the front side of it, which is super exciting.
And
That's
we
really
haven't, and don't get me wrong, we
Yeah.
haven't merged everything from my old CRM to the new CRM. We're just now getting a feel for things. We're
Absolutely.
90 days in.
Yes.
And our goal, my original goal was to have everything moved into everything by August into
Mm-hmm.
Command. Our realistic goal is going to probably be November and December, so that by January 1st we're rocking and rolling,
You're rocking
and
and rolling.
understand how the system works.
Yep. That's
So it's just part of that growth period.
That's right. So I got 2 more questions for you.
Of course.
Okay with that?
Of course.
So we also talked about, after family reunion, we also talked about opportunities and growth.
Yes.
Right? Because you were feeling this thing of, I want to keep growing. I mean,
course.
obviously you hired a coach, so you want to keep growing.
Yes.
And we talked about opportunities in the Keller Williams system, right? And we showed you the opportunity map.
Yes.
So there's opportunities to be an operating principal, a team leader, an investor. So talk to me about what that meant to you, to see that, it's not just sales as well, but there's a place that you can go to.
Well, I think that most people don't realize is that when they stop selling, they're done
Right.
with their career. So either you have to start having other revenue streams in place, or you start creating a lifestyle built around a business that can be self-sustaining. And if you love you love what you do, like I love what I do, I don't think I'm ever going to leave real estate. So, but do I actually want to be on the ground selling every day? Probably I'd like some days off, or maybe I want to slow down a little bit and transition into a different role, because I love working with people, I love working with homes, I love with all these different mechanics that create our industry. There's more than just one thing that you can do.
That's right.
And that's what I think is the benefit with Keller Williams.
Yep.
Because in other brokerages, you have the option of either being an owner or what?
A manager, a broker.
A manager, a broker. So if there's other ways that you can be included and involved in your field in a passion that you love,
That's right.
why wouldn't you align yourself with a company that would offer you those kind of features?
It's awesome. I'm excited about your future for sure.
Oh, it's just going to keep going.
I know. I have no doubt, because your talent will open doors for you.
Thank you.
And I'm going to ask for one more question, then
Okay.
we're going to wrap it up. Let's talk about culture.
Yes.
Okay, so understanding you've been at other brokerages, talk to me about the culture at Keller Williams Rivertown.
I think it's fun.
It's fun.
It is.
Okay, tell me about that.
I've been with a few companies over my years.
Sure.
And I have to say that they always have like a good vibe, but it's not where it's fun and it's engaging and it's where they walk with you. At my first brokerage almost 20 years ago, completely different. It was very closed door policy. I feel like I had to make my own wheels. And I remember when one of the assistants of the large agent in that office came out and she goes, "Would you like some help? Would you like a brochure template that we have?" And I went, "Oh, yes, I would love that," because
amazing.
no one reached out.
Yeah.
No one extended their hand to help. And this is such a business that is so tight with information. It's nice to have a company, not just your company here, but Keller Williams as a whole, that's
Absolutely.
an open book policy,
Yep.
open door policy.
Yep.
And that the difference being that you walk with us for as you want to grow and how you want to grow.
Yeah.
And I think most of that's lacking, where I think some of that old mentality is, let's see who sticks, throw them up a wall, see who sticks. And then where the Keller Williams direction is much different. What are your goals? What's your vibe? Where do you want to go?
What's your why?
What's your
We're
why?
big into your why. Why do you do this, right?
Right.
Where are you
so
going?
if you want to have a house with a pool, why do you want to have that? So my kids can enjoy this, so I can in time. There's so much behind just a goal. So if you have that foundation behind that goal, and that your coach can work with you to walk you through that, this is how you're going to start, here's how you're going to end, and this is the work that you have to put in to get there, That's the difference of culture.
Yeah.
And when people are working together to create that direction and that purpose, that's when the fun happens.
Really, trying to accomplish a culture of giving and sharing and caring.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So we help you, you help us, we all get along. We all go much farther together.
Yeah.
Right? We always go that. So thank you for your
You're
time
welcome.
today. I really appreciate it. Can we do it again sometime?
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. And if you have questions for Tammy Jo or would like to talk to her at all about her transition and her experiences, I do happen to have her phone number. You feel free to reach out to her at 616-292-4400. And Tammy Jo, thank you again. We really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.